So the way we will get started is I'm going to provide a bit of an introduction to Chris Cinnamon, who of course is hosting the event for today. And then there'll be room at the end for some Q&A. Please feel free to drop notes in the chat. We would love to hear from you, hear any questions that you have. You'll also be able to contact Chris via email, which we have just placed in the chat for you, but we will also place this in the chat a little bit later again for anyone who enters afterwards. And it looks like we have a couple other people. Mark is in Houston. Hi, Nicola, great to see you. You're in Norwalk, Connecticut. Oh, fantastic. And Anne and Liam in Chicago. Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We're really, really excited to get started. Before we jump in, I want to introduce Chris Cinnamon. He is a lawyer, a certified exercise physiologist, and head instructor at Chicago Tai Chi, and the author of Tai Chi Knee Health, which, by the way, is a fantastic book. I don't know how well you can see it in the thing here, a little hard to see with my screen, but fabulous, fabulous book, incredibly helpful. And he is actually working on his next book, Tai Chi for Balance is in the works. He developed and leads Chicago Tai Chi's popular Tai Chi for Balance and Tai Chi for Knee Health programs. And he holds a law degree from the University of Michigan, a master in science and kinesiology from the University of Illinois at Chicago, and is certified as an exercise physiologist by the American College of Sports Medicine. He's a US Navy veteran and served for 6 years flying carrier-based F-14 Tomcat fighter jets. And he lives and teaches in downtown Chicago, leads workshops throughout the US, and is very passionate about sharing the powerful benefits of Tai Chi, Qigong, and meditation. So really, really excited to have Chris here. I actually recently attended a Micropractice workshop, which you guys will all experience. And it was absolutely phenomenal. I've been using it very much related to the hands and wrist exercises. So it's been a huge difference. And with no further ado, Chris Cinnamon.
Thank you, Sabrina, and thank you all for joining me. So the promise over the next 30 minutes is to learn how to deeply relax in 5 minutes with what I call micro-practices. Now, it's not a news flash that stress and tension permeate our society and our lives today with real health consequences. Elevated levels of tension and stress are associated with greater risk of cardiovascular disease, the #1 killer of adults, intestinal problems, emotional problems, sleep problems, and that continues to proliferate as we live and work the way we do, with increasing demands, increasing stress, both in our work and our personal lives. Now, the antidote to elevated tension and stress is relaxation. But we really don't receive a lot of training in how to relax in the West. The practices that came over from the East, from China, Tai Chi, Qigong, different schools of meditation, all emphasize deep relaxation. And they have specific training, specific procedures in how you can relax your body at ever deeper levels, releasing that tension and stress. But unless you get that training, most people don't do that. They build the baseline level of tension and stress in the body continues to elevate as you take on more responsibility. You're under more pressure, and that just keeps ratcheting up. And you're, particularly for us high performers, we can do it. We can keep pushing until something breaks or you die, right? So the way to counteract that is to relax. One problem with relaxing today is having the time. To learn Tai Chi, to learn a Qigong set takes some investment of time. To meditate takes some investment of time. And coming from the founder of Chicago Tai Chi, the return on that investment is well worth it, but it may take some people getting their toe in the water first before they are willing to make that investment. And with what I call micro practices, we're going to get your toe in that water. And what a micro practice is a short, targeted relaxation exercise that comes out of Tai Chi, that comes out of Qigong, that comes out of meditation, that you can drop into your day. 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, and use it to lower the baseline level of tension in your body. As a consequence, you'll begin to abate the health risks of chronic tension and stress. And more importantly, you'll feel better. I think we can all agree, feeling tense, feeling stressed, particularly when it's chronic, it doesn't feel good. I mean, it can feel miserable, and we can feel miserable, and we can make those around us miserable when we are stressed out, irritated, short-tempered. And these are antidotes to all those consequences of carrying chronic tension and stress. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with a brief warm-up exercise, and then I'll take us through 2 micro practices. In between each micro practice, I want to have a 1 to 2 minute separator state where you can just feel what, if any, response in your body, in your mind, in your emotions you have to the particular micro practice. And that's also a time that you're invited to drop any questions or comments or observations about your experience in the chat that may be helpful to share with the group. So to begin, a warm-up exercise, we are going to create tension and release it. So I'd like you to place your hands like this. Get your mind in your hands. And you can just wiggle your fingers around and just get your mind in your hands. Feel them. Dense with nerve endings, lots to feel. Your palms, your fingers, your fingertips. Feel them. Now, the next thing we're going to do, if you have any kind of issue in your hands or fingers, you don't want to do what we're going to do in a way that causes any discomfort, right? No pain. So I'm going to ask us to make fists, and if making fists causes any discomfort, then just back off. But if you can comfortably do so, make fists and squeeze. Squeeze. And feel your hands. Keep your mind in your hands and feel whatever's going on. What sensations you have in your hands now as you squeeze. For a couple more seconds, squeeze, and then inhale. And on the exhale, just release. And let whatever happens, happens. And keep your mind in your hands. And feel whatever you feel. Now, I'm 100% confident that if you were able to get your minds in your hands, they felt different between when you were squeezing and when you were not squeezing. And we're going to try that again. So squeeze and feel. What are the sensations coming from your hands and fingers now as you squeeze? And inhale, exhale, and just release the squeeze. Let your hands do whatever they're going to do. And feel them as that happens. So what we just did was the identical physiological process of creating tension and stress that happens throughout all the body when we're stressed out, when we deal with tension and stress at work and in our lives. The only difference was this was intentional. We sent the signals from our brain down through our central and peripheral nervous system and created the contraction, and then we released it. Now, the process of releasing tension in the body is exactly the same. The trick is to feel it and get your mind in it. And that's step one. To release tension in the body, you need to feel it. And most people don't. Their minds are mostly in their heads, not in their body where most of the tension. And through micropractices, you can begin to develop increasing sensitivity and skill at getting your mind into these tense areas and then doing something about it. So with that, we're going to do the first one, how to relax the eyes. And there's a lot of bang for the buck in relaxing the eyes. And if you think about it, the way we work today, we predominantly focus on screens. And many of us focus on screens for hours. And the muscles in the eyes that focus evolved to focus in multiple focal lengths. And that means the muscles are moving as you would change from looking close to looking far. But when you look close for hours and hours, those muscles are in one position, contracted in that one position. So that will introduce physical tension in and around the eye. But there's more, because what comes in our eyes can also create tension and stress. It is for any of us that consume media today, we know that much of that media, we can experience that much of that media is designed to trigger us, to trigger emotional reactions of sensation, of horror, of shock. And all this is coming into the eyes. But there's more. So the optic nerve exits the eyeball, and then it connects to a thick bundle of nerve fibers called the optic chiasm that then goes right through the center of the brain to the back of the brain where the visual cortex is. So the signals coming from the eyeballs go right through parts of the brain that regulate emotions. So imagine if those signals are agitated, if those signals are tense, if those signals are elevated, that can trigger emotional reactions and affect the whole central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. On the other hand, if we're relaxing the eyes and then behind the eyes, we can relax back into the brain. So this is a hack into relaxing the whole nervous system. So let's give it a try. So as to warm up, and if you'd watch me for a moment, all right, we'll close our eyes during the exercise, but watch me for a moment for this warm up. So you just close, I'm gonna close my eyes lightly, and you watch, and then just very lightly touch your eyes around what's called the orbit. That's the bony structure in which the eyeball rests. So we'll just do that for a minute or so with the aim being just to get your mind in and around your eyes. So let's just circle the eyes lightly, very light touch, just getting your mind in and around your eyes. One more time around. All right, and then lightly close your eyes and begin to feel them. Get your mind in and around your eyes. We've got eyeballs, and the eyeballs have a front. You can feel the front. The eyeballs have a top. You can feel the top of your eyes. The eyeballs have a bottom. You can feel the bottoms of your eyes. And the sides, inside and outside. So just feel all around there. And as you begin to get your mind in and around your eyes, you will discern sensations. Signals that all the nerves in that area are transmitting to the brain. And among those sensations can be tension, tightness, contraction. So feel for any of that around the tops, bottom, sides of the eyes. And now, just like we did with our fists, inhale, feel all around the eyes. And on the exhale, release. Inhale, feel the tops, bottoms, sides of the eyes. And on the exhale, just release, just let go, soften, relax around the eyes. 2 more breaths. Inhale, feel. On the exhale, release. Feeling for any sense of release, softening, of relaxation around the tops, bottom, sides of the eyes. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Softening, fronts, tops, bottom, sides of the eyes. Now, we're going to go a little bit deeper. So feel the front of your eyes. And now move your mind about an inch or so behind that. Now you're in the backs of the eyes. So just take a moment. Get your awareness in the backs of your eyes. And when your awareness is in the backs of your eyes, you're right about where the optic nerve exits the eyeball and then heads into the brain. So with your mind on the backs of your eyes now, inhale, feel. And on the exhale, release, soften, relax the backs of your eyes. Again, inhale, feel the backs of your eyes. And on the exhale, release the backs of your eyes. Now, if you have not before felt the backs of your eyes, it may be new. And it may be less clear whether you're feeling the backs of your eyes or not. But with a little practice, you will increasingly clearly discern the backs of the eyes. But if you're feeling a little bit behind the front of the eyes, you're in the neighborhood. So nothing to be concerned about. Wherever you feel there, just release, soften, relax. Now, if you have no sense from behind the eyes of any release, just keep at it. Breathing, feeling, releasing. If you've got a baked in tension there, which many of us do, it may take a little while to release it. But let's say you're getting a little release behind the eyes. Now, we're going to go a little deeper. So as you feel that release behind the eyes, let it go back a little bit further, back into your head. And be real light. We're going to be heading into the brain here. So inhale from behind the eyes, just release, relax, and let that softly radiate further back. Feel, inhale, release behind the eyes, and then let that release radiate further back. And for the next few breaths, continue to release behind the eyes and further behind the eyes as far as you're comfortable going, which can include all the way to the back of the head. But particularly if you're not used to working inside the brain, you want to be light with it, gentle. And then if you get any sense from behind the eyes and further back of release, softening, relaxing, just feel that. Because you may be relaxing more than just your eyes now. Through the eyes, you can relax the whole nervous system. So we're going to conclude this micro practice shortly, but I'd like you to listen to me before we stop. When I say it's time to open the eyes, I want you to do so very softly, slowly, and just let the outside back in, continuing to relax behind the eyes. So let's give that a whirl now. If your eyes are closed, begin to softly open them. And continue for the next 2 breaths to release and relax behind the eyes. So I'd like to have a minute, 90-second separator state before we get to the next micropractice. So just take that time and feel whatever you feel. How has your body responded to this practice? Any change? Positive or negative? Go to another level, how have your emotions responded, if at all? And then how is your mind, your awareness, your thoughts responded to this practice? Sabrina, how are you doing with that?
Doing pretty well. I'm enjoying it. Thank you.
Yeah. This is a go-to micropractice, particularly if you're spending a lot of time in a screen.
Yeah, very, very good for that. That's pretty much all I do is stare at a screen. So it feels good.
Okay, I'm ready to go to the next one. So most of us spend a lot of time at computers. And what do you do at computers? Banging away on a keyboard. And what do you do when you're banging away on a keyboard? Packing tension and stress into the hands and wrists. And that can be pathological. Carpal tunnel syndrome, other ailments of the hands and fingers can result from this chronic tension of the hands. And an antidote is relaxing the hands and wrists. And that's our next micropractice. So what I'd like you to do is take a look at this hand shape. And it is basically a gentle curve. So I'd like you can put your hands like this, or if you're more comfortable, you can have them down and resting on your lap. Either way is fine. I'll do it like this for visibility. And what I want you to do is lightly bend and then lightly stretch your hands and fingers. Lightly bend and stretch. And you want to do this action, this light bending and stretching, in a range of motion that does not involve introducing tension. And for many people that haven't done that, this is new. And when they'll go to stretch, they'll do this. So if you're doing that, that's tension. So you soften. And then as you get this light bending and stretching of the hands going, now begin to feel your hands. Is everything moving? And you may find there's parts that aren't. And if you do, then give it a little attention and get it moving lightly, stretching, bending. And this bending and stretching is a fundamental movement pattern in Tai Chi that we do in the whole body. And here we are applying it to the hands and wrists. Moving in a range of motion that does not induce tension, but gets everything moving. And physiologically, what that does is promote circulation of fluids all around the complex of soft tissue that are our hands and wrists. And that's blood and interstitial fluid, lymphatic fluid, synovial fluid in the joints. So if your hands feel like they're warming up, moving a little more smoothly, that's why. So to relax the hands and wrists, this gentle bending and stretching. Take a 5-minute break from the keyboard and just do this. And feel your hands and wrists soften. And then recall how they felt when you were squeezing them into fists. Do they feel different now? All right. So to relax the hands and wrists, first, gentle bending and stretching. And next, there's a hand shape in Tai Chi and many martial arts and Qigong that's that's excellent for continuing to get the hands and wrists moving in ways that are really beneficial for releasing baked in stress. It's called the beak hand, the beak hand. So the beak hand looks like this. So here's the palms open, and then all four fingers touch the thumb. So looks like a beak. And you see this across many martial arts and Qigong sets, making the beak hand. So let's make some beak hands. So here's open your hands, and now just lightly curl the fingers, and note the wrists are soft now. So opening the back of the wrist, open, beak hand, open, beak hand. If you feel any strain anywhere, then back off. Maybe you don't touch all your fingers to your thumbs at the start. This does stretch connective tissue. But over time, you take this on as a practice. You do 20 of these after 20 bending and stretching of the hands, which is going to take maybe 5 minutes. And you're going to increase the range of motion. You're going to increase the function of all this complex tissue that makes up the hands and the wrists. So this is the basic beak hand. And if you want to add another joint action in the wrist, you can add some rotation to your beak hand. So here I am rotating the wrist as I make the beak hand. And you don't have to do this. It's like the pinky leads and makes an S. Two more. Now just put your hands down on your lap and feel how your hands and wrists feel. Any change. And then if you note any change, is there any change anywhere else in your body? I mean, the hands and wrists are connected to everything else. And there is the possibility that some softening, some release in the hands affects you elsewhere. And you want to feel for that. So those are 2 micro practices. We're getting close to the end here. So how to relax the eyes, just a quick review. Start by getting your mind in your eyes, then relax the fronts, tops, bottoms, sides, and then begin to relax behind the eyes. And if you're comfortable, let that relaxation, that release go further and further back. Do that for 5 minutes a day. You're gonna contribute to healthier eyes and lower the baseline level of tension and stress in the whole nervous system. So it's really a central nervous system hack, relaxing the eyes. And then relaxing the hands. We've got the gentle bending and stretching, 20 to 30 of those. And if you want to do a little more, add the beak hands, 20 of those, with rotation if you like. All right, Sabrina. So we are running close to the end here. What else from your end?
Well, we do have a couple of comments. Greg said, as I was relaxing, it felt like I had a dominant eye in relaxation. And Jennifer has a question. She says, my husband has ongoing pain in his hands, maybe some kind of carpal tunnel issue, but not sure. Anyway, do you think if he did the hand stretched and the beak stretches faithfully, that would help decrease his pain?
All right, first, Greg's comment about it feels like a dominant eye in relaxing. And it sounds like maybe one eye was relaxing more than the other. As you get into these practices, you'll discover more and more how the sides of the body are different. One side's more sensitive, it's tighter, and that can be from injury, how you carry a briefcase. It can be from a number of things, or could be genetic. And it's just something you note. With practice, you will find you'll be able to balance out the sides. And the side that's less susceptible to relaxation will begin to relax more. So that's mainly a practice issue. And Jennifer's comments. Now, doing any of these practices when you have an injury, some irritation, a chronic condition, the key is keep the movements within a pain-free range of motion, however small. For example, watch my hands. If because of what I had going on my wrist, if I got to here and it was, oh, ow, then I would move them like this. And I would stay within a comfortable range of motion. And I've used these practices as rehabilitation for myself and many students and clients. And the number one key, which is hard for many people because we're used to pushing and going through pain, but the number one key is moving within a pain-free range of motion, however small. And for your husband, the test would be give it a try. And first, do them pain-free, and then evaluate over time, is there any relief? Tai Chi and Qigong are time-tested practices for healing the body and maintaining vibrant health. Whether that happens for any particular person, I'm not going to predict, but I certainly recommend people try it.
Fantastic. And Jennifer did give an answer. She said, Chris, your answer makes sense. I took your knee health class and you also said, don't do anything that is uncomfortable at all. Same principle.
Exactly.
So we are near the end of our session. Wanted to let everyone know that we're extremely happy that you were with us today. We also invite you to follow up with any questions that you may have by contacting Chris via email. I have dropped Chris's email in the chat. And we'd also like to invite you to explore the website as well, which has also been dropped in the chat. I'll actually share my screen so that you can see what that site looks like. It's an opportunity to continue receiving more micropractices in terms of definitely some online classes, as well as being able to take advantage of workshops. We also have membership options available that you can take advantage of. So we definitely invite you to do that. And we even have corporate programs that are available, which work really, really well, just in terms of helping with stress reduction, as well as all the wonderful benefits that Chris mentioned earlier. So,
and our spring class session just begins this week. So we're into a new term. If you're interested in exploring these with us, and we support a national community through our online classes. In April of 2020, we shifted our full schedule online as an experiment, and since then have done over 3,000 online Tai Chi and Qigong classes. So we're competent at it. And if exploring this material more intrigues you, that you can do it with us.
Fantastic. And you guys should see that on the screen. So again, thank you so much. And we hope that all of you have an amazing rest of the afternoon and week.
All right. Thank you.